Yes, hello, welcome everybody, welcome to the channel. It's Chris here from MoDXtra. We're doing another action figure unboxing today. Specifically, we're looking at McFarlane Toys and their DC Comics Multiverse range. And the figure we're unboxing is the Batman Animated Series one. I'm Batman! Yes, so, okay, the McFarlane Toys Batman Animated Series figure. DC Multiverse range, and anyone who's followed any of my other content, particularly in the Ministry of Dice stuff, will know that I'm a self-confessed DC fanboy. And a big part of my DC fanboyishness was the Batman Animated Series. When I was a young lad, it was this and the Tim Burton Batman film that were big contributing factors to me taking an interest in comic books and superheroes. And so I leapt into DC Comics as my kind of first gateway into that deep, dark hole of comic book collecting, and Batman was obviously a character that I focused on. I've collected a number of Batman Animated Series related content over the years. I've got figures and statues and all sorts hanging around, Batmobiles and things. This one from the range is the black cape and the dark grey uniform. There's another version of this figure that's got the blue cape and the light blue-grey uniform, just to sort of acknowledge those slightly different look and feels that we get on Batman. I've gone for the black cape one. It just looks a bit more badass to my eye. I think it'll be a little bit more kind of imposing on the shelf. And to be blunt, I managed to get this one at discount. It was in a clearance sale, which, as I often say in the intros to these videos, is a contributing factor to my purchase also, that I found a bargain. I've got to be honest, McFarlane Toys, I don't have a great deal of McFarlane Toys. I'm not as keen on the kind of the design ethos that they adopt when they approach making a figure than, say, Hasbro would do, or the manufacturers. They just seem to, you know, like this DC Multiverse range, they just focus on all the battly, gothic-y stuff. You know, they just McFarlaneise everything, basically, and try and make every character look a bit Spawny, like they've come out of a Spawn comic, which I'm not the biggest fan of, if I'm being perfectly honest. But this one, certainly to have a look at through the box window, is a little bit more subdued, and certainly got a cartoon-accurate feel, which is also something else that's very important to me. Yeah, let's move on over to the overhead camera, shall we, and take a closer look at the figure. Oh, here we go, Batman. And I tell you what, one of the first things you notice is that these McFarlane figures are ever so slightly taller. Just from the box in hand, you can feel that these are more kind of on the 7-inch side rather than the 6-inch side. Here's Batman, open box window, a couple of spare hands, some toys and accessories, some goodies. There he is in his uniform. Just a very basic kind of side there. On the back, we've got a promotional picture showing the Batman Animated Series cartoon screenshot that the figure is based on, and then a little bit of promotional information across the bottom for some other figures that have come out in this wave, and then a very plain, straightforward side as well. Anything interesting on top? No. So let's get the Stanley knife out. Get a finger in there. Oh, come on. Come on. Oh, is there more tape that I've missed? No, I'm just incapable. A bit of cardboard on the bottom there. Save the trees, Todd. Save the trees. Well, that slides out quite nice with the cardboard backing there. Let's take him out the blister pack. Ooh, more goodies. So there's looks like there's a little collector's card at the back here and a stand. Excited about that. I'll look at them in a minute. So let's get Batman out. Oh, he's got the anti-shoplifting gubbins that are hidden underneath his cape. Scissors time. Scissors time. Gently does it. These scissors have been successful. There we go. Let's pop Batman out. Hey, I tell you what. He feels like he's got a bit of heft on him, does Batman? Bit of heft on you there, Batman. Very top heavy with those broad kind of Bruce Timm Paul Dini animated style shoulders. And then a couple of accessories. Hand. Batarang, obviously. And then his oh, like a little grapple hook shooter. That's cool. Does that come out? No. Back here, the trading card, which looks like it's sealed on there. There we go. All kind of info trading card. And a stand, which I definitely approve of the choice to put a stand in there. McFarlane Toys, well done you. Especially with the weight of that. I can see it being a difficult one to stand up. Right, there we go. Oh, bit of crap there, bit of crap there. Batman unboxed. Let's take a closer look. Okay, I'm going to call it out right up front. Had I not picked up this figure at a discount, winning an eBay auction for it, and paying far less than you would do at retail, I would be hugely disappointed with this Batman. I'm saying it right up top. There's just so much to like, but so much to dislike. And I don't know if it's just because I've got a bit of a duff one out the box, or whether it's to do with the design. I can't speak to that necessarily, but I've been relatively unhappy. Let me kind of talk you through it a little bit then. So the first thing you notice when you take it out of the box is this. See in the leg joints there, just this massive kind of gap in the hips. And his legs are so thin and spindly that you just, like the posability, you have to rely on the cape basically to hold him up. So it just looks really rubbish on the shelf with that kind of gap, and I've been trying to pose him in ways where that gap is disguised. But if you kind of put him central, more central to disguise the gap, he just looks like he's, I don't know, like, you know, like he's clenching, like he's desperate, you know what I'm saying? So that immediately put me off when I'm talking about the packet. Also, the joints are incredibly hard to do anything like good with. You know what I mean? If you want to put him in a autofocus, come on autofocus, there we go. If you want to put him in like a leaping state or something, I don't know, just this gap down here just really bugs the hell out of me. But as you can see, there's some good movement here in the chest, but even then, as you sort of swivel him around like that, see this bit here? It just looks a bit not right, and I want to have my Batman, you know, being a man of action. So you've got some good swivel here. It doesn't go back and forward. The head movement as well is enormously restricted. You basically got that much on it. In fact, I can move it that way, but this way, look, it just sort of springs back into the middle. There's no up and down very much. There's a bit of up. No down because of how square his jaw is, which is part of the, you know, the aesthetic of the character, I suppose. And then you got good arm articulation here, but obviously the drape of the cape gets in the way from anything above shoulder height. Can you hear all the creaking? Just very creaky and doesn't feel, I mean, it feels like if I try and turn that any further, the arm's breaking off. And there's just not a lot of movement in there at all. The elbows as well, if I can just show you here. You see the grooves, the elbow grooves in there. So as you sort of move the elbow up, you reveal these elbow grooves here. Oh, focus. Let me do the focus there. There you go. The elbow grooves here, just, I don't know. So when you've got his arm up, if you're doing something like with his arm up, you've got this little sort of elbow groove bit here, which looks really crappy. And some other things as well, just like attention to detail stuff. See, like the paint's a bit untidy around the face. The paint, I don't know if you can see it there, is all sort of very untidy under the utility belt. Oh, bloody hell, my autofocus, my hand movement is freaking out my autofocus a lot. But really untidy here under the utility belt, so it just looks a bit bleh. Also, when I took him out the packet, I had this scratch. I don't know if you can see that on camera, but the cape's all scratched. Can you make that out? Just here, this big scrape along there. The cape's all scratched, and it's the same on the inside. I've got a big scratch on the inside here. So that I'll be very unhappy with. So it's no wonder he comes with the base, because he's so top heavy that he's very difficult to sort of put in any posable position without it, to be honest, because of his spindly child legs. But he's proven very difficult for the type of action poses that you want to put a Batman in. He's proven more fiddly and faffy and creaky and like filled me with more concern that I'm going to break a limb off any second, particularly one of these legs at the groin point here. Look at it. Look at the massive gap in between his super underpants and his leotard. And in the arms, and just, I don't know. I just feel like, had I paid full price, I think I would have been really rather disappointed with this one. you know. And the fact that he's got these little toe bits here to really enhance the poseable opportunity with him is sort of meaningless when he's just so unwieldy and creaky and stiff and imbalanced. I mean, again, there, I'm using the cape to prop him up. You just can't, he's so top heavy across the top here that you can't, even with a wider, you know, spread-eagled kind of thing, you still need the cape to hold him up. So, I'm just, it's so limited in possibilities and options. We've got this little bit here on the wrist sticking out that I can't get to go back all the way in because it's just really rigid, and I just kind of want to disguise it a bit more, but I can't. So my love of Batman and my desire to love this figure has just been... I've just been so disappointed, really, that I've been trying to do... Oh, Gordon Bennett, I knock the camera all the time here, don't I? My desire to put him in these great Batman poses and do some stuff making him look like the Batman of the old animated series cartoon has just completely fallen flat on its face, you know? Just completely fallen flat on his face. And when I have got him into a pose that I think, oh, yeah, that's doing it, that's looking the way I want it to look, just little touches just don't seem to come together, you know? Or I'll find I'm looking at it and I'll find like the way that these leg joints in the groin are standing out just, or I'll catch a glimpse of the little elbow sections and just feel really disappointed. So there you go. I mean, I'll do a little accessory review, but I think you know where the final thoughts are going on this video. But yeah, let's take a quick look at the accessories, shall we? Okay, so I've changed the hands out now. You can see I've basically swapped it so that you've got the grippy hand, the trigger finger hand on the right side and the closed fist on the left side. In the previous section, you saw the closed fist was on the right hand side and the trigger finger was on the left hand side. The Batarang there will fit into one of the grippy hands, into one of the triggery hands, and then he's also got this grappling hook launcher. This was a bit of a disappointment. So these trigger fingers, these grippy fingers, are clearly from a gun holding sort of mould that they've perhaps reused from a previous figure. So this grappling hook holder doesn't sit very neatly in his hand, and certainly doesn't sit in his hand in any way that is cartoon accurate, where he kind of grips it in between his fingers, you know. So that is yet another little kind of disappointment. Also, something else I noticed when I changed the hands, when I popped this one off here, if I do it now, this peg underneath came out with the hand. Just popped right out with the hand. Even though the new hands are supposed to reuse the peg. So, I don't know what that was all about, but the whole peg came out with the hand. Oh, there you go. What's that all about? So just another example of kind of a bit of, I don't know, like, have I got a factory second here? No wonder it was on eBay for cheap. You know what I mean? So the accessories are fun enough. There's stuff you'd expect to find with a Batman, you know, a Batarang, grappling hook launcher, clenched fists for beating muggers' heads in, and stuff. But, you know, there's more scratch marks here on the cape. But yeah, the hand doesn't hold the grappling hook launcher very neatly at all. Certainly not in a way that you see him do so in the cartoon series, and this whole peg popping issue on this side, which I can see one day I'll lose it and that'll be the end of that. So there you go, there's the accessories rundown. Anyway, let's move to some final thoughts. So the Batman animated series figure from the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse range is a miss. I'm sorry folks, I just found a lot to dislike about this figure, and it's such a disappointment to me. I really wanted to love this figure, and you can't understand how kind of influential and formative the Batman animated series was on my life. I mean, it's unquantifiably been so influential on me over the years. But just having it in hand, it's like, you know, when I look at an action figure, I look at it either, what am I looking for? Well, if I'm looking for shelf presence and as a display piece, then I want it to look good. This, at a glance, looks good, but on closer inspections, not so great. And then think, well, is it about the play experience. Is it something that I can share with my son? Something I can pose, take photos of, mess around with, make dioramas with? And again, just, it's got so many points of articulation, but they're shonky. You know, they're not... I mean, even they're like that. Like right now, even after playing with it for days, I can't get that second knee joint to... It just... I don't know. Just doesn't sit right with me at all. And they've not thought through some of the... I don't know, it's like they've made it without thinking about what a buyer like me would want out the figure and how I would want to pose it up. The sort of top-heavy, spindly legs thing is definitely a problem. He doesn't stand up very well. He needs that stand. Even then, that doesn't support him greatly. And he's so limited in terms of what you can do in terms of posability. I say that, I'm perhaps being a bit hasty because I've not, I've had it for a week. I've not extensively explored the possibilities with it. But just like the untidy paint job and the scratches on the cape and the paint job around the edge of the face mask there and how immovable his head is and the fact that it's two reused hands that don't hold the grapple gun properly. It's just like all these little niggles have accumulated to make me go, meh, I'm a bit unhappy. And I think I'm probably going to stick with like my older Batman animated series figures, really, for when I'm making my little video skits and stuff, than I am with this one, because they, even though their statues are completely unarticulated, inarticulated, anyway, whatever. Let me know in the comments below what the word is I'm looking for there. I just haven't been able to make it. I had him in the light box last night and I was trying to do some stuff and he kept toppling over and then I was fiddling and then he was stiff and rigid, and then once I got him in the pose I was like, look at that massive hole in his groin, it's so annoying, it's so frustrating. And then I had him at one angle, I was like, you can see how untidy the utility belt paint is, and I don't know, maybe I'm being too picky. Am I being too picky? Again, let me know in the comments below. Am I just being a fusshead? Might be being a wethead, I don't know, but I want, perhaps my expectations, maybe it's an expectations thing, because I wanted to love it so much that I've been too harsh in my estimations of it, which could also be the case. I don't know. But I don't know. If you're watching this video looking for some help in terms of making a decision as to whether to pick it up, maybe my thoughts have helped you out. As I said in the main review section, had I paid full price for this, I would have been much more disappointed than I am right now, I think, because I can still, at the price I picked it up for, make some use out of it and still find some enjoyment relative to the value of the money I paid for it, if that makes sense. So there you go. McFarlane Toys Batman Animated Series from the DC Multiverse range. Meh, nah, nah, meh. You know? Alright, well, if you have enjoyed my review today, please do give me a thumbs up down below. Do all the YouTubey bits for me. Help me out, help me grow the channel. If you're not already subscribed, please do subscribe as well. I love it. Feedback and comments as well. I've been working really hard on my lighting, on my footage. I need any pointers, any advice, anything that might help me out with that. But in the meantime, I've been Chris with the MoDXtra channel, and I'll hopefully catch you around these parts again sometime soon. Thanks for watching.